I'm Stuart Lord and we are live here in Bromsgrove for the Frosty Cup live group draw, sponsored by Frosty Jacks. Right then, I'm going to get straight into it. In pot A, we've got Andy Massetti, Will Ash and Martin Swaber and Chris Newman. So, let's start. Oh, we've also got Dave Rutland as well. So, right then, and first draw, first man out of the hat, ball, is the number 1 seed, Andy Massetti. It's his first year playing, but beginner's luck will not continue till game week 38. So we'll put him in Group A. So we'll go from Euro 2000 whatever league. Right then. Next out the draw is Chris Newman, the manager of Brest Homage Albion. If he shows promise in FPL and the kitchen, he's a chef, but it normally ends up in disaster. So he's in group number 2. Number 3, WBA, Martin Swaber. He was first 2 years ago, and he's the worst racquethlon junior champion to ever win a world title. Alright then, next up is my uncle, Dave Rutland, manager of Carroll's Injured, and he makes more transfers than an international jet setter. Next out, and last out of the first pot, is Will Ash, manager of Exeter Gently. He's always there or thereabouts, could have won 2 years ago, but he didn't enter, so he didn't win anything. Alright then, that's pot A done. We'll move on swiftly on to pot B. And we have manager Matt Allister, multiple scoregasms. Right, and Matt Allister is a Liverpool fan, so he's never going to win the league. That's about it. He's in with Andy Massetti. Right then, next up, in pot 2, is Teeleman's Not Hot, Tom Candler. Right then, where the hell have I put this? I can't remember what he'd gone for him. Right then, if his FPL, he does YouTube videos on chat roulette on YouTube for money, wearing tight clothing. His account is Tommy Topcat. Give him a follow, YouTube channel. Right then, next up is myself, Stuart Lord, Guilty Pleasures. The amount of time I spend on this game, I should be miles in the lead.
Agreed.
Next up is William Clark, manager of Clarence See It Off. Now, I've seen this guy in a worse state than his fantasy Premier League team. Now, that's saying something. Next up is Wheat Chief. I don't know this guy, but apparently if he wins, if he beats Andy Seeger, he's getting his P45 in the post. And he says he's a much better FPL manager than he is a science teacher. Alright then. Next up, pot C. We have, first out to go in with Andy Massetti and Matt Allister, is Gary Dixon, who is ginger and a Geordie, so he needs a bit of luck in this draw, but he's got the number 1 seed, so again, not much luck in life for the ginger Geordie. Next up is Graham Murray, Norfolk and Hope. He is Scottish, so I'm surprised he even qualified for this competition. They never qualify for anything. Next up is Rory Cameron, Pathetic Madrid, in with Martin Swaber and myself. That is the group of death so far. Rory Cameron, if he could play FPL as well as he cashes out losing bets, he'd be in the top 100 players in the world. Next up is a new guy to the Leeds, Ben Howman. He took my job and he's trying to take my place in Fantasy Premier League, but he's not having it. Next up is, finally, Dan Seeger. He is the youngest manager in the league at only 8 years old, and he's a Liverpool fan, so he's likely to slip up. Gerard pun there. Right then. Final group pot is first out. These are the worst players in the league. Johnny Griffiths, in fact, is the worst player in the league. He's rock bottom And maybe he could spend a bit more time researching now he's been banned from his local pub for 2 weeks for bad behaviour. That confirms pot. But we've got Group A. So you've got Andy Massetti, Matt Allister, Gary Dixon and Johnny Griffiths. Next up is Chunderful United, owned by Robert Harrison. Now he struggles to control his bladder, let alone his fancy Premier League team. Next up, well, that group confirmed Chris Newman, Tom Candler, Graham Murray and Rob Harrison. So next out the ball is the Jordan Langdon Bates, Bilbo Baggins. Now this guy, he enters every year, there's lots of dedication to begin with, much like his relationships, and then 6 months later he loses interest. So he is in with what? The third team from the University of Birmingham squash team, with myself, Rory and Martin Swaber. So then, penultimate ball, Ed, is Andy Seeger, owner of Seeger's Superstars. He was last year's winner, but it was obviously lucky because this year he's been absolutely shocking. So, and finally, this will conclude the draw, hopefully, is Wilson 11 and Cam Wilson. Now, Cam, much like squash and FPL, they're very similar with him. Women and alcohol abuse has taken its toll and now he's shocking. So that concludes the draw. We have in Group A, Andy Massetti, Matt Allister, Gary Dixon and Johnny Griffiths. In Group B, Chris Newman, Tom Candler, Graham Murray and Rob Harrison. In Group 3, which is the group of death by the way, Martin Swaber, myself, Rory Cameron and Jordan Langdon Bates. In Group D, Carroll's injured, owned by Dave Rutland, William Clark and Clarence Seartoff, Ben Hammond and Andy Seeger. And then finally, the final group is Will Ash, Ian Chamberlain, Dan Seeger and Cameron Wilson. That concludes the draw. Thank you for watching. Good luck everybody.